P, there is a man in the NFL right now. He's been, I would say, at least towards the forefront of news here recently. And that is Mr. Jonathan Taylor. Mr. If you drafted him in fantasy last year, you hated your life. Mr. I'll be honest, I think he's overrated, but it's okay.
Is that a true statement? Like
I
you
do think
actually
he's
feel like
overrated. I do
okay.
think he's overrated. But look, man, me and you got opposite viewpoints on this, so I know it's going to be an interesting convo. I am against like top tier running backs, except for maybe two or three of them. And I know you're very pro running back, but with a guy like Jonathan Taylor, he wants a lot, and people are shocked. First off, I don't see why people are shocked at the trades that came out in terms of values.
Yeah.
McCaffrey went for a second, third, fourth, and a 2024 fifth. You're telling me, like, first off, McCaffrey is better than Jonathan Taylor. That is
The
a
best running back
fact.
in the league. Let's go ahead and just say
Like,
that.
but my thing is outside of CMC, who can completely change your offense, outside of Derrick Henry, who can completely change your offense, and outside of Saquon, who can completely change your offense, and maybe Chubb. Like, bro, I'm just saying, is there really that big of a difference between Jonathan Taylor and
Well, like a DeAndre Swift. Is that what you about to say? Or like a
like
little bit more high scale
Ramondre
than that?
Stevenson? Like, is there that big of a difference? Like, straight up.
JT's kind of not fair to judge in a way. You know what I'm saying? Because when he on the field, he's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
But he can't stay on the field. But it's also like the Colts had the best offensive line like 2 years ago. So like, was he an offensive line merchant or like? He's
See,
weird to judge. He's weird to judge. I'll
that's
give
my
you that.
problem, bro. Like, you notice Taylor gets worse as soon as Quentin Nelson got worse. Like, Quentin Nelson's first year in the league, bro could pull to any side and there was a hole for Taylor and he was taken off. Like, bro, every running back in the league can do that shit with that line. And I do understand, like, the quarterback play has been really bad. It's hard to run when they know you're going to run, yada, yada, yada. But like I said, bro, if you're not one of those four running backs that I just named, I don't believe that you're worth that much in a trade. And I
So
just
let me
don't
ask you
think,
something.
I don't know.
Let me ask you something. Where do you rank him, Jonathan Taylor? Just for any viewers, y'all can type in on Twitter or anything. What is the difference between Jonathan Taylor and Eckler or a Josh Jacobs? Where do you have
Okay.
that? Where do you have that?
So the biggest difference, okay, I think Jacobs is actually a pretty damn good comparison. Jacobs and Taylor, I think they're probably in that maybe 7 to 9 range in terms of running backs. They're both really good runners. They're physical. They're downhill. They come at you with square shoulders. They make you hit them. They make you hurt when you try to hit them. They can catch passes, but they don't get utilized in that way. Eckler and Kamara are the two guys who are on the precipice of that top four, but they're not quite there because of what they do receiving out of the backfield. Like, Eckler and Kamara bring a pass catching element that Jonathan Taylor just doesn't. I mean, you go back and look at the year he had 2 years ago. All those good games were like Derrick Henry-esque games where he was getting a
He
buck
was toting
80, a buck
26
80 and like
carries.
2-3 tutties. He's not a pass catcher. And to me, if you aren't Derrick Henry, obviously you see like he's hurt. And he's hurt because he's way smaller than Derrick Henry and trying to do the same thing as Derrick Henry. That's hard. If he could catch that's like if you're not Derrick Henry or Nick Chubb, who is Nick Chubb's a different specimen, bro. Like, he's
Yeah,
big and
he
he's
really
like, I think he's literally like 2 yards ahead of everyone in terms of yards after contact since he's been in the league. Like, that's a different dude. Like, you can't, if you're not that level of physicality and you still can't, you're not really a weapon out of the backfield for screens, for 5-yard slants, quick outs. It's hard for me to really boost your value in the game. It's like, and like, for example, let me ask you this. If the Panthers traded some picks, like, let's say It's
which is
NFL.
I've heard.
NFL trades are so weird, bro. Because like, and you know, in the NBA, you got to ship some players. In the NFL, you really only ship picks. Like, you could maybe throw in Miles Sanders, whatever. But even if you didn't, if you offered a second, a third, second and third was like the best offer I saw. So if you offered a second and third, and then put like a 2025 fifth on top of that, and you were to get Jonathan Taylor,
Am
do
I
you really
happy?
feel like that moves the needle like a shit ton for the Panthers? As much as it would if you traded that for Derrick Henry
So
or
okay, like
Chubb.
let's keep it a stack here. Like, so are you asking me in terms of would it be a committee with him and Miles, or will we give up Miles, or
Like Jonathan Taylor is basically the same role he was 2 years ago, where he's the workhorse, but then you also probably use Blackshear as your or Chuba as your pass catching back.
I would be fine, bro. I would be fine with that. The only problem I have once again is Jonathan Taylor. He's injury prone, bro. Like he's injury prone, and I don't know how good he would do behind our current offensive line. We've been seeing that with the preseason, so I don't know how we do with our current offensive line. But if you're asking me, like in terms of Henry or Chubb, it's not the same. It's really not the same. It can be like he has a ceiling to be like those guys, but I don't think it would be at this point in time. Me
Yeah, and
personally,
I just don't
we could
like it's
totally be wrong
cool.
though, which is the great thing about sports.
Yeah,
Totally be
and
wrong.
it's cool that he's showing up to camp and stuff, but the way he handled it at first, like I think the problem is the league has to find the happy medium, because I'm even guilty of this. Like me and you are the perfect example. We're the antithesis. I'm in the like running backs have little value. You're in the running backs have high value. And that's the problem of the medium we have to find is the running backs in the league think that they're too valuable, and the non-running backs in the league think that they have no value at all. We got to meet in the middle, because like you just can't have two extremes like that.